All right, the wait is over. First helmet update of this 2024 49ers season, and I can confirm that Brandon Aiyuk is in the building. He has reported to training camp that might have surprised many. Now we get to see if he holds in or if he just begins practicing. I can tell you that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan spoke a little bit ago, and John Lynch said that he expects all of the 49ers players to practice. So maybe we do see Brandon Aiyuk out on that practice field tomorrow. But that is for tomorrow. 49ers first practice will be on Wednesday. Today, Tuesday, day one at camp. This is the injury update day, and I've got a lot of news for you. First of all, non-football injury list, 49ers rookie Ricky Pearsall. He's on that NFI list because he got hurt away from the team facility. It is a hamstring injury. I don't think it's overly serious. The 49ers expect Pearsall to miss the first block of training camp practices. That would mean he misses 4 practices because they're going to be out on that field tomorrow, Wednesday through Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Maybe we see Ricky Pearsall on the field in training camp for the first time when the 49ers reconvene for Block 2 on Monday. Then there's the physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. This is for players who got hurt at the facility or during an actual game. On the PUP list, Drake Jackson had knee surgery this past offseason. Dre Greenlaw obviously tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl, and Talanoa Hufanga, who was coming off of the ACL tear against the Buccaneers at this stadium last November. So Pearsall on NFI, those 3 players, Drake Jackson, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga on PUP. The practical effects of both lists are the same, but you have to designate players based on where they got hurt, and Pearsall was away from the facility doing his workouts this offseason. Just as significant are the players who are not on PUP, who were hurt during the spring program. Jake Brendel, who had the knee tendonitis, is not on PUP. George Kittle, who had the core muscle surgery, he is not on PUP, and I've got a little factoid on him that I'll share in a little bit. Charvarius Ward, who also had core muscle surgery, he's not on PUP, so presumably he's ready to go. And Cam Latu, the second-year tight end, who had knee surgery, missed all of his rookie season, he is not on PUP, so we should see him out on the practice field tomorrow. But George Kittle, he went down to 214 pounds this offseason. Kittle, normally at around 240, 245, lost 30 pounds of weight, muscle, because he wasn't unable to work out after that core muscle surgery, all the way down to 214. Said his wife was asking him what was going on, but just as remarkably, he was able to put that weight back on, and he's back up to 240, 243 pounds now. The George Kittle visited with us today. He's wearing his Team USA gear, Olympics starting in a couple days, and that is very good news for the 49ers, that he's not on an injury list, that he's ready to go, and that's something that we expected last month at tight end Aiyuk. George Kittle was already looking good. Kittle's got a beard. Facial hair was the theme today. Kyle Shanahan had the Shanna stash, right, over the course of this offseason. We saw him at the Christian McCaffrey, Olivia Culpo wedding with that facial hair. Well, that's not the case anymore. He said that he shaved it off yesterday because he joked that the media was going to make too big of a deal of it. But supposedly a lot of 49ers players have come in with mustaches, maybe in honor of Shanahan, maybe not. But George Kittle said that Logan Thomas, new 49ers tight end, is looking like Luigi with his handlebar mustache, and Nick Bosa is out here with a mustache as well. Now, I will share pictures in the update later tonight. We're going to do 49ers Intel later tonight. This is just the instant reaction helmet update after, not practice, but after the initial 49ers session. So no pictures, but you can stay tuned and subscribe later tonight when we see those. 49ers have made their determination on how to replace the head sports performance director, Ben Peterson, and it is what we expected when Peterson left the Atlanta Hawks a month ago. Dustin Perry and Dustin Little, the Dustins. Dustin Perry was the head strength coach, and Dustin Little was the trainer. They have both been elevated to a dual leadership role to replace Peterson, who did a really good job lowering the 49ers injury rates since he was hired in 2019. He really brought the medical staff and the training department and the strength and conditioning staff together, all under one roof. Everybody was working cohesively. So obviously the 49ers want to maintain the same energy, so they have promoted from within to be able to make that happen. really good quote today from George Kittle. He's talking about the Brandon Aiyuk contract extension. The 49ers continue working on that, by the way. The refrain was the same from John Lynch, especially because he was the one talking about it, as it has been throughout for Brandon Aiyuk. They're not ruling out a potential trade. I know that he's requested one. No absolutes was what John Lynch said, but he continues to repeat that, guys, we expect him to be part of this team. We want to be part of this team. Obviously, he's already under contract. The bottom line is that the 49ers have a lot of pressure on them to win a Super Bowl, and Aiyuk is a really good receiver. And even though he wants a new contract, he already has one right now. They're happy to negotiate with him on a deal that fits under their salary cap roof. But the truth of the matter is that you can't afford to lose that kind of talent. So of course you wouldn't, seriously entertain trading him unless you're absolutely blown away by an offer. So that's what John Lynch repeated today. I think to nobody's surprise, I know that some outlets will act like what John Lynch said was something crazy, but it's the same theme that the 49ers have held throughout. It is good news for San Francisco that Brandon Aiyuk is in the building. A holdout like the one that we saw with Nick Bosa last year could negatively impact Brandon Aiyuk's play heading into the regular season. Now, they're hoping he's going to be on the practice field tomorrow. That's the last piece of this equation to solve, to make sure that he's training with the team, developing rapport with Brock Purdy. But I think that things are trending in the right direction again for the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk. And you could probably trace this all the way back to 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when Aiyuk started coming back into the 49ers facility following the meeting that he had with the 49ers brass. And we'll see if they can hammer out that contract extension. The 49ers have no incentive to break away from a deal that makes sense for them, because they do have leverage in this situation. And you saw that leverage represented by the fact that Brandon Aiyuk did indeed show up to the building today. I mentioned the funny quote. George Kittle, he cited Richard Sherman when he was talking about contract negotiations today. Richard Sherman once told George Kittle that contract negotiations are like braces. They absolutely suck, but then once you get them off, you forget that you even had them. So 49ers hoping to get to that position, and Brandon Aiyuk is hoping to get to that position as well. And, people, I get it. Some people will say, yeah, I remember Deebo Samuel and the drama he created in the 2022 offseason. People will say, I remember Nick Bosa's holdout. But ultimately, both of those guys got paid. 49ers found a way to make it work really well with their cap situation. And they lived happily ever after. And that's what they intend to reach with Brandon Aiyuk. So we'll be back out here tomorrow. Day one of 49ers practice here at training camp. Beautiful weather in Santa Clara. We're much luckier than other parts of the country where it's really humid. Here it's a little warm, but that's what you do expect for training camp. The 2024 season is underway, and the first instant reaction is in the books.